Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be answering some cabin crew interview questions. I know right now the airlines are not recruiting yet because of the pandemic. However, this is preparation time, this is preparation season. They are definitely going to start recruitment after the pandemic. So as usual, my name is EMIRATES and I have 5 years experience as a commercial flight attendant. Make sure you watch this video to the end because you're going to stand to gain a lot from my lessons today with the interview questions. Don't just watch it for 2 minutes and go off. Make sure you watch the video till the end. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I want to talk about my ebook. I'm going to be answering a few questions, but in my ebook I have like 20 interview questions and answers and other things that you're going to gain. So click on the link below to order from my ebook. Okay, so I wrote them down in my jotter. So the first one is, describe a time when your work was criticized. Why do these recruiters, why do they ask this question? You know, I told you, if you watch my previous videos where I answered some video online interview, how to answer some interview questions that are asked on the video online, I said that every time a recruiter asks you a question, the most important thing you should ask yourself is, why are they asking me this question? Now, here they said, describe a time when your work was criticized. The reason why they're asking this is because they want to know if you're the type of person that takes correction. If you are the type that gets offended when your work is criticized, then you are not the perfect candidate that they're looking for. Sorry for using the word perfect. Nobody is perfect, but you're not the candidates you're looking for. So when you're answering this question, make sure you do not talk bad about your previous employer. Do not talk against your previous supervisor. Present yourself as someone who is open to feedback, who is open to correction, because as a cabin crew, you cannot, not even as a cabin crew, as a person, you can't really know it all. Once in a while, you will be criticized positively, and it depends on your kind of person. If you're the arrogant person that feels that you should never be told what to do, then then you will have a hard time staying in this job for long, because when you become a cabin crew, you're going to work in the economy class and you're going to meet people who have been ahead of you in this career, and you would have to submit to their authority. So make sure when you're answering this question, I'm not going to give you a formula like this is the answer you're going to give that is going to make, no. I'm going to give you a guideline, and the guideline is whatever you answer, make sure you present yourself as someone who is open to feedback and who is open to positive criticism, even the negative criticism, because sometimes even the negative criticism could also help you. Okay? The second question, what are the steps you follow to study a problem before making a decision? Now, why are they asking this question? The goal behind this question, are you a problem solver? Are you the type of person that acts on impulse, or you are the type that thinks before you act? There will always be situations on board, different types of situations, and if you're the type that acts on impulse, you're going to have problem with your job. So when you're answering this question, make sure you are the type that make sure you don't present your type as the person that you just act on impulse. You don't think before you act. Don't give yourself out that way. If you're that kind of person, please do not tell an interviewer that, oh, I'm the kind of person that acts on impulse and I first of all react. No. First and foremost, the first thing you should say is that before I make a decision concerning a problem, I will gather as much information. I will gather as much information because I believe that there's always two sides to a coin. And so make sure that you're the type that gets access to true information before you now make a decision. So do not present yourself as somebody that acts on impulse. You are the kind of person that always thinks. Take a deep breath. You think, you speak to the people involved, try and assess the situation, listen before you now take a decision. For example, maybe your colleague, you feel that your colleague is not meeting up to your the expectations of the job, that's not the time you're just going to go and meet your supervisor and tell your supervisor that this person is not doing his or her job properly. No, that kind of situation, you call your colleague aside, not letting anybody know, and try as much as possible to get into the mind of your colleague. Ask questions, try to understand what is going on from the perspective of your colleague before you can now take that decision of how to solve a problem. For example, you can give a story of what it is that happened. In one of my flights, or when I was working in a restaurant, one of my colleagues was not meeting up to expectations. I called him or her aside, and I found out that he had just, lost his dad, or maybe he just went through an operation. That, try as much as possible to put yourself as someone who is understanding, someone who is empathetic, not the type that is thinking that by deeming someone else, by going to go and report your colleague to your supervisor, maybe you will gain a sort of favor with your supervisor and all that. Okay, the next question: how would your friends or co-workers describe you? So how would your friends or co-workers describe you? Easy question. They're going to make sure when you're describing yourself, the qualities are tied to the qualities of a cabin crew job. Okay, don't just go and say, oh, my friends will describe me as the type that loves to drink, loves to go partying. Be very careful and do not give yourself away. Make sure you describe yourself as, my colleagues will describe me as person who has the ability to listen and solve problems. Whenever they have any kind of problem, they can always call on me. I'm a very reliable person. It's tied to the cabin crew job. Okay, the next question: what skills or qualities do you think are important for dealing effectively with customers? It's also kind of like, what are the qualities of a cabin crew? Dealing with customers, you know very well that you have to have a listening ability. You have to have an empathetic, you have to be an empathetic person. An empathetic person is someone who is always ready to help. Someone who listens well is someone who is ready to understand a situation from a customer's point of view. Do you understand? You're not listening to the customer to try and give the customer a negative answer, but you're listening because you want to try and solve the person's problem. Then you can also say that you're the type that you love being of service to people, which means you're ready to work, you're ready to go above and beyond to satisfy your customers, to put a smile on your customer's face. You're a positive and a progressive kind of person. A positive person is a kind of person who always sees the light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever situation you find yourself in, you're the kind of person that always believes something good will always come out of any situation. Okay, another quality is ability to work under pressure. You're cool, calm, collected. Even if you're in a situation where you can't even resolve the customer's complaint, you're able to be calm, you're able to be collected, and you will find a way to answer, you find a way to still solve the passenger's problem. Do you understand? It's not everything that you'll be able to solve, really, because you're not God, but you just have a way of making the customers feel satisfied even when you're unable to solve their problem. Next question: where would you like to be in your career 5 years from now? Where would you like to be 5 years from now? If you're in an interview with an airline, I want to believe that you intend to work with that airline long term. Nobody wants to employ someone that is just going to work for 9 months. So you need to convince the employer that you're in for the long haul. So you know very well that when you get employed as an economy class cabin crew. After the economy class cabin crew, you move to first class cabin crew. After the first class cabin crew, you become a cabin senior. From being a cabin senior, you can progress to being a cabin director. So if I'm you, 5 years from now, and these promotions, after like a year, I believe you should be working towards a promotion a year after you've joined a company. I want to believe that is your goal. So in 5 years, I see myself as being a cabin senior. You know, there's nothing wrong in seeing yourself as a cabin senior in 5 years time. So you tell them, in 5 years time, I look at myself as being a cabin senior. I see myself as someone who at that point in time understands what my job is, and I hope that I will be a cabin senior. Why? The next question, why are you leaving your present job? Please don't say anything negative about your previous employer, and do not talk about how hard the previous job was, because the cabin crew job is much harder, because you're going to stand for a long time, you're going to work at ridiculous times, and you're going to attend to a whole lot of passengers. Trust me. So don't give yourself away and start to say, oh, I had to work for long hours, my employer did not treat me well. No. If you're going to answer this type of question, you tell them, well, I am someone who is open to learning something new, and I know that your airline has such opportunities for me, and I am the kind of person who believes in growth, and I want to grow, because I know that being a cabin crew for your airline will give me the opportunity to learn in a multicultural environment. Do you understand? So which means you have no problem. I mean, first and foremost, you talk about how amazing. I had an amazing time with my previous employer. I learned a lot from working with them for how many years, but in life, change is the only constant thing in life, and I want to grow as a person. And I believe that being a cabin crew will give me that opportunity to learn and grow. So that is how you should answer it. Never ever speak negatively about your employer. If you ever do that, that's bye-bye to that job. The last but not the least, tell me about yourself. You know, this particular interview question, I actually have a video on it, how to answer tell me about yourself. Even if you look through my how to answer the video online interview, I also answered it. So I'm just going to give a guideline on what you say. Anything you use in describing yourself, please make sure it's professional. Please don't talk about the fact that you have 5 brothers, you have parents, you went to so and so secondary school. Nobody really, they don't want to know that. Anything they want to know has to do with you as a person. So you first of all tell them, my name is Yetunde Adeyemi. I presently work as as a I'm the kind of person, I'm very goal oriented. So he said, I love being of service to people. I'm very passionate about customer service. I have an amazing outgoing personality. You know, describe yourself. That is the time to sell yourself to the recruiter. And when you are saying it, make sure you smile and make sure you are confident. Okay, so that is all for today, and I'm going to definitely make a part 2 of this video. However, like I said, in my ebook I have 20 interview questions and answers, and it's gonna help you. So click on the link below to get my ebook. The title of my ebook is Life of a Flight Attendant. So have a great week. Stay blessed.